Flies chased her customers away every single day. What happened next will shatter your heart.
The first time it happened, she laughed. "Now only small flies," Ngozi said, waving her hand carelessly as she arranged her tomatoes. The morning sun had just touched the dusty road, and the market was already alive with noise. Women shouting prices, children running barefoot, men dragging sacks of rice. Life was normal, but the flies were not. They came in groups, thick, dark, restless. They circled her table like something was calling them. At first, it looked like nothing. Flies were common in the market. Nobody cared. But these ones, they refused to leave. A customer came close. "How much for this pepper?" the woman asked, bending slightly. Before Ngozi could answer, the flies rose in a loud buzzing sound and settled on the woman's arm. "Jesus!" she screamed, shaking her hand. "What is this?" Ngozi forced a laugh. "Don't mind them, I will chase them away." She grabbed a piece of cloth and began to wave it hard. The flies scattered, but only for a second. Then they came back, more of them. The woman frowned. Your place smells somehow." Ngozi froze. "Smell? No, it's fresh, I washed everything this morning." The woman didn't reply. She simply stepped back slowly, then turned and left. That was the first customer she lost. By noon, it became worse. The flies increased. They covered her tomatoes, her onions, even her hands. No matter how much she waved them away, they returned like they belonged there. People began to avoid her table. Some covered their noses. Some whispered, "That woman, something is wrong there." Ngozi's chest tightened. She had never seen anything like this. By evening, she packed her things in silence. She had made almost nothing. As she carried her tray on her head, her friend Ada called out, "Ngozi, wait!" She stopped. Ada walked closer, her face serious. "My sister, I have been watching since morning. Those flies, they are not ordinary." Ngozi forced a weak smile. "Abeg, stop it. It's just flies." Ada shook her head slowly. "No, flies don't behave like that. They don't chase customers like that." Ngozi didn't answer. She didn't want to think about it. That night, she couldn't sleep. She kept turning on her mat, listening to the quiet sound of her small room. Then, suddenly, bzzz. Her eyes snapped open. The sound again, closer this time. Bzzz. Ngozi sat up slowly. Her heart began to beat fast. There were flies inside her room, in the night. "How?" she whispered. She lit her small lantern with shaking hands. The light filled the room, and then she saw them. Flies, dozens of them, moving on her wall, on her door, on her body. She screamed and jumped up, shaking herself violently. "Go away, go away!" She grabbed her wrapper and began to hit the air. But the flies did not leave. They only moved, then settled again. Tears filled her eyes. "What is happening to me?" she cried. She ran outside. The cold night air hit her skin, but she didn't care. She stood there, breathing hard. After a few minutes, she slowly went back inside. The flies were gone. Gone like they were never there. Ngozi stood still in the middle of the room. Her body was shaking. Something was wrong. Very wrong. The next morning, she decided to clean everything again. She washed her tomatoes twice. She scrubbed her table. She even bought new nylon to cover her goods. Today will be different, she told herself. She needed it to be, because that market was her only source of income, her only hope. By 8 a.m., she was ready. Customers began to come again. For a moment, everything looked normal. She smiled. Hope rose in her chest. Maybe it was just yesterday. Maybe it was over. Then, bzzz. Her smile faded. The sound again. Slow, heavy, familiar. She turned her head slowly. And there they were. The flies. More than yesterday. Darker, hungrier. They landed on her tomatoes like they owned them. A man who was about to buy something stepped back immediately. What is this nonsense? Another woman covered her nose. The smell is worse today. Ngozi shook her head quickly. There is no smell, I swear. But even as she spoke, she smelt it. faint, rotten, like something dead. Her stomach turned. "No," she whispered. The flies began to rise again, buzzing loudly. People started leaving, one by one. Nobody wanted to stay. Nobody wanted to buy. Ngozi stood there helpless, her eyes filled with tears. "Please, buy something," she begged a passing woman. The woman didn't even look at her. By afternoon, her table was empty of customers, but full of flies. Ada came again. This time, she didn't smile. "My sister, you need to go and see someone." Ngozi looked at her with tired eyes. "See who?" Ada lowered her voice. "A spiritualist." Ngozi's heart skipped. "No, I don't believe in all those things." Ada leaned closer. "Then explain this. Why only you? Why only your table?" Ngozi opened her mouth.